everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been ages. However, in my defense, there's a global pandemic. I appreciate this means it might be easier to film YouTube videos from home, but I'm back. And I'm here today with a video that I've wanted to film for so bloody long. It is a Depop tips for sellers video. I am probably not like the biggest seller I'm definitely not the biggest seller in the world. However, in the last 2 months, I've gone from about 5 or 10 sales to 130 sales in 2 months. So I have massively learned so much in such a short space of time. And I thought, when is a better time to do a video like this than now? Because I know that everyone's online shopping a lot more, and I think everyone's turning to marketplaces like eBay and Depop because the big brands like Topshop and stuff are sort of, they're slowing down, their distribution centres aren't necessarily up and running, so they're turning to the Depop sellers. Woohoo! Good for us. So if you've got anything in your closet or anything like that that needs selling, get on it, because now is the time. But I've just realised I didn't actually introduce myself. Thank you for coming back to anyone that already knows me, but hello, I am Fliss. That was my dog coughing. I talk mainly about sustainable fashion. I didn't used to, but I do now talk about sustainable fashion and some travel, but not right now, obviously. Anyway, I'm gonna just shut up and get into the video, but yeah, enjoy. So this video is split into 4 parts. It does sound long-winded, but I promise I'll go through them quickly. But yeah, I'm gonna talk you through sourcing products, listing them, delivery, then post-sale. So yeah, I'm just gonna get straight into part 1. So my first tip for sourcing products is doing your competitor research. So I use eBay and Depop a lot to look at what other really good top sellers are selling that are sort of within your sort of category. So this might sound quite obvious because anyone can just have a quick scroll through and see what's selling well. But some little tips within this are, on eBay, you can't do this on Depop annoyingly, but you can use eBay's research to apply to Depop. You can actually click sold items. So say you think, oh, do you know what? I'd really like to start selling like really cool printed like Hawaiian and like Aztec shirts and stuff. Type in one of those phrases into eBay and click sold and see how many of those items are selling every day and see how much they're selling for. That's really, really helpful. Also, if you want to use Depop for the same thing, just go on the top seller and just go through their feedback and you can see what people have been buying and what's been selling quite well. So number 1 is competitor research. And then in a similar vein, you can actually, I work in digital marketing, so I don't know how many people know this, how like well known it is, but Google have a tool called the keyword planner. You just need to type it in. Sorry if you can hear growling, by the way, that's my dog. But you can type in keyword planner into Google, and all you have to do is have a Google account, and you can do keyword research, it's called. So essentially, again, if you're looking to sell like printed Hawaiian shirts, but also you might want to sell sports sweatshirts or pleated skirts or like Y2K outfits, you type in all these phrases into the Google keyword planner, and then it tells you how much search volume each phrase has. So how many people are searching for each of those phrases. And it also gives you other ideas that are like similar keywords and how popular they are. So what people are searching for in Google is often a good indication to what will sell well on Depop too. So I use the sort of the sold in eBay and Depop and the keyword planner to sort of do my initial research before I decide exactly what I'm gonna go and sell. And then also within sourcing, one thing I just really want to state is wherever you're gonna get your items from, whether it's a wholesaler, you can always look online for wholesalers. I would always recommend like asking for a sample first, because some people just aren't great. I've really learned from experience there. Or if you want to go around charity shops, which is amazing, such a good way to do it, and you're giving money to charity. Or if you want to go around car boot sales, that's like an absolute favorite of mine. Just try and buy really cheap, because often you find if you go to a charity shop, especially in London, the other ones outside of London are definitely better, but a top can be £7, £7.50, then you're not going to make much profit if you put it on Depop. You have to take Depop's fee away. Sometimes you lose a bit of money in the packaging process and the sending. are you really going to make that much money on it? Just I think that's why one of my favorite ways to source products is at car boot sales, because you can go to someone, they've got a pile of clothes on the floor, you are going to have to be quite confident and just get on your hands and knees, which I found really awkward at first, but I'm totally like fine with it now. But just get on your hands and knees and rifle through all of their items, and usually they'll do them for like £1 each or 50p each, and usually if you buy like 10 items from those people, you can say, will you do them all for £8 or whatever. So yeah, that is like, if you're buying things for 50p to £1 each, you're definitely going to make money on them. And when you're looking through those kind of piles, I would always just say, try and buy like, not when I say branded, I don't mean like really high-end brands, but even just Topshop or Zara or New Look, any of those, that's the kind of phrases that people will be looking for on Depop. Whereas I've bought stuff like, for example, this shirt I'm wearing now is actually from a charity shop. This is unbranded, so I would find it a little bit harder to sell that on Depop because people often search for brands. So yeah, they're my tips in terms of sourcing. But if you guys source products already on Depop, I'd love to find out in the comments how you do it. Obviously, I'm not going to ask for like your wholesaler's name or anything like that, but I'm just always open and interested to find out how other people find their clothes for Depop. So when it comes to actually listing the item and getting it sold, other than, like I mentioned earlier, there's a few obvious things like great photography and long descriptions. There's some slightly less obvious tips that I have. So number one is list loads and loads of items, i.e. all the items you have available. Make sure they're all posted and uploaded onto your shop. Mainly because this is your shop front. You want people to be able to see everything. You want them to see sort of what style you have, what you're all about, and also you're more likely to get bundle deals and people will engage in your content. So say, for example, someone was buying like a pair of jeans from me, they might be thinking, well, I could get a deal if I buy that top, and the top might not have sold otherwise. So it's just have everything listed on your page. I did read a stat online that said people with over 150 listings on Depop have much more percentage like success of sales. So yeah, just try and list as much as possible. Even if you think it's not great, just list it on there. And then another tip I have, and some people might find this spammy, but hear me out. Something I do is I get, say for example, I sell Levi 501 jeans. Once they're posted on my profile, I will go to another listing of Levi 501 jeans from someone else, and everyone that's liked it, so say there's like 35 people that have liked it, I'll go through and follow all those people. I don't unfollow them or anything like that because I think that is a bit spammy, but I follow them all, and then it's kind of like putting my profile in front of them, and I've got a product that they're interested in, so I'm selling a very similar / the same thing, so I'm putting my product in front of them. So it's sort of a way of advertising your profile to people. So hopefully people don't find that too spammy, but that's something I found works quite well, because when I look at products that people that have bought from me, I'm like, oh, I'm already following them, so that's how they found me. So that's something that works as well. And then finally, this might be a slightly obvious one, but edit your posts maybe every day or every other day if you get a chance. You don't really have to do anything, just basically click edit and then click post again, because that brings it back up to the top of people's timeline, and you're right, when someone's looking for a Topshop dress, you're right at the top again, rather than just leaving it for 3 weeks and being right at the bottom of the pile. So yeah, just edit and yeah, keep refreshing the products essentially. So moving on to delivery, this is one that I learned sort of halfway through my Depop journey, but something that's massively helped me with delivery is moving away from the post office and moving to Hermes. So the post office, I sell jeans quite a lot, I think I already said, but they're like a sort of this kind of weight, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, everyone knows how much jeans weigh, and it was costing me like £4.50 at the post office, and that wasn't tracked or anything. And I did have a few occasions where people said that the item didn't arrive, and I had no real way of proving that it did or didn't, even though I'd sent it, and it was getting quite frustrating because I was losing money on stuff that I'd bought to sell. So it was really frustrating, and obviously it's really annoying for the buyer as well if it genuinely hasn't arrived. So then I bought from Depop and realised, oh, this has come with Hermes, and it says on the front, oh, it was £2.80, and it was tracked. So I realised that there was a newsagent's right at the end of my road that has one of the little Hermes printer machines. You can also do it on your computer and print out, but I don't have a printer at home, so I actually print in the Hermes shop. But it's £2.80, it's tracked. I'm not joking, things get there within like 1 or 2 days. Most of my feedback is like, I can't believe how quickly the item arrived. And yeah, I just feel really confident with Hermes that everything's going to arrive. And if it doesn't, we've got like a system for tracking it. So it also helps you get your money quicker on PayPal because you put the tracking details in, and as soon as it delivers, PayPal releases your money. So it's much easier. And then on delivery times, always try and send on the same day or the day after the purchase. I think it just massively helps with the customer experience. You're more likely to get good feedback, and it's just much nicer for the buyer. I know that's not always necessarily very easy, especially when we're in a lockdown and we're not supposed to be leaving the house too much, but as much as you can, try and tie it in with like your daily walk to the shops or wherever your Hermes shop is. I guess like another tip would be, if you can't deliver it that quickly and it is going to be a week, just make sure you make the buyer really, really aware of that before they buy. And if there's anything that delays you, just keep them in contact, because I think people are very reasonable as long as you just keep them updated with what's going on. And then my final tip on delivery is I have bought some really cute like packages from Amazon to send stuff in. I'm trying to find some biodegradable ones at the moment, but these are plastic, I'm really sorry. But they're really cute, like light lilac and light blue packages. So I send the jeans in those, well, any of the items I'm selling. And I also put a cute little personalised note in there as well, essentially just saying like, thank you so much for purchasing. Like, if you're happy, please leave positive feedback and I'll do the same for you. And I find that really, really helps. My feedback started going up since I sort of made that whole experience, like when it arrives, they've got such a nice experience of like receiving their new product. I try and make it as nice as possible so you're likely to get good feedback and people will continue to buy from you. So finally, moving on to post-purchase, there's a few tips on this that you might not have thought about before. One, after you've sent something, wait a few days. Obviously with Hermes you can keep an eye on when it arrives, but I do sell quite a lot, but I sell quite a lot, but I can't really keep an eye on everything. But after a few days, I tend to contact people and be like, hey, lovely, just checking in that your item arrived. And that shows that you do genuinely really care. Usually people reply being like, yeah, it's arrived and I really love it. And if they do say that, then, and they haven't left you feedback already, that's a good chance to say, oh, I'm so happy it's arrived. So I'm like, glad you love it. Would you mind taking a second to leave me positive feedback? And I'll do the same for you. If they're not happy with it, I think, if you don't offer refunds, which I don't, try and be reasonable. Obviously, if something has stains on or holes, you have to offer a refund, really. If not, and it is just that it doesn't fit them, be understanding. And then something that I offer is I'll say, please feel free to take my pictures and my content from the ad and resell it on here. Like, I'm sure you'll be able to resell it as well. Just as like you're obviously trying to help out as much as you possibly can, even if you don't accept refunds. Another thing I recommend is, and this is a bit of an odd one, but buy on Depop. There's a few reasons for this. Obviously, it's very sustainable. It's great to support other sellers on Depop and sort of, support the independent seller. But also, in terms of your actual feedback profile, a lot of people, they're just not active on Depop. And even though you've sold something to them, they won't leave you feedback. So to sort of make up that feedback gap, because everyone can see you've sold like 100 items and your feedback's only 50, I try and buy most of my clothes from Depop because then I'm still boosting my feedback profile. So yeah, I just, make sure you're liking and buying a lot of items as well. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Sorry, I feel like it might have been a bit rushed. I mean, it might be like 15-20 minutes, I have no idea, but I feel like I've talked really quickly. But like I said at the beginning, I just love Depop so much, I could talk about it for hours, so I felt like I needed to get through it quite quickly so you weren't just sat here for ages listening to my voice / just turn it off. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do let me know in the comments if you try any of these things, or if you have any tips for me, because dear God, I could talk about Depop with you. Please, you could be my best friend. Yeah, I would love to know your tips too, and any funny experiences you've had on Depop. I'm definitely going to be continuing to sell for the foreseeable future. I would love to make this my full-time job, to be honest, but small steps. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I've got a Depop haul coming up next, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Bye.